we actually built a virtual sleep clinic called Dawn Health prior to Assured. And we were trying to make access to quality behavioral health care easier and more affordable for the tons of people around the country that struggle with, sort of really debilitating sleep conditions like insomnia, and are oftentimes very much underserved when it comes to treatment. And so, as we built Dawn Health, we were really hiring providers across many different states. And, we really tracked one metric obsessively, especially again, given our value prop, which was let's make this care accessible to tons of people who can't otherwise access it. And let's make it affordable through insurance as well, which was how long does it take from hiring a provider to them getting to see their first patient, covered by insurance. Um, and ultimately, this metric was, what determined, how much we could grow as an organization, but also how widespread our impact could be.
And what's a bad number and a good number there?
The bad number is ultimately like the status quo. It's what we deal with today, which is, many times anywhere from 2 to 6 months, oftentimes, depending on sort of what type of care you're delivering, what region you're delivering it in. And what health plans you need to work with, right? What sort of insurances you need to accept in order to treat as many patients as possible. And so it's a very long process. And, kind of interestingly enough, like I came from tech, my co-founder did as well. We really assumed it would be a very short and simple process. When I joined my first company that I worked for, a company called Yahoo, you know, onboarding took a couple days, right? And so that was really our expectation when we thought of, okay, when we hire our next provider, whether they're a doctor, a nurse, a licensed clinical social worker, um, we kind of assumed the same. But the reality was very different, and it ended up taking many, many months.
And
And
so what this looks like is, it's not like I'm a fresh grad. I've worked at other sleep clinics before. I've worked at other sleep clinics that take Blue Cross Blue Shield, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield New York, and I sign up to work with Dawn Health, and I'm facing a potential 6 month waiting period before I can start accepting my first patient, despite I'm seeing patients somewhere else. I'm accepting Blue Cross Blue Shield somewhere else. Is that more or less the story?
absolutely, you hit the nail on the head. These are providers that have tons of experience, have dealt with massive patient panels, worked at many different organizations. But no matter all of that, the next organization they join, they have to go through these processes over again, and end up having to wait, very long periods of time.